So you can get a skin off completely without it breaking.
Oh, I'm never gonna leave.
Okay.
I got business.
One whole piece is what you want.
Eat it.
Just try that. You don't really have to do it, but try and do it. Is what I'm trying to get at. And the deal is, if you do it the same depth all the way through it when you're peeling it, it'll stay together. If you're doing it fat and skinny, fat and skinny, fat and skinny, it falls apart. So the reason I'm asking you to try and do that is so that you try and get the knife moving uniformly through the apple so it peels a little bit more effective. That's it. I don't care if you get a hole. It means nothing. We're throwing it away. Right, what we are trying to do is spend a little bit of time just trying to figure out how to use your paring knife and get your hand to where you want it. Has anyone ever seen those peeling machines? Mm-hmm. So basically it's a spiral thing that basically just goes onto a fixed blade, and the apple or the potato will just peel along it, and basically it stays fixed and doing it. Okay, so ideally this should be fixed if possible, and the apple should be moving is what I'm trying to get at, to replicate what that machine does. Okay, so what I try and do when I do it is I find my spot on the apple, I find where the apple should be, and then I rotate my apple around until it's peeled. That makes sense? And I'm trying to keep the thing pretty, stationary, ideally, like as I don't want the knife to move as much. I'm not pushing the knife, I'm pushing the apple on the knife. Oh, I've been skinny right there. Oh, skinny, kind of heavy.
You can't go home, chef.
What's that?
Can't go
I
home.
already did it. I get to go home. I didn't say I had to do it twice. But I think I did do it.
Not like go home, you have to eat a whole finger line.
Oh, y'all making your face?
Yeah.
I'm not even going home.
They look like little snake skins. But this is how you would make like little tomato roses and different things like that are basically just pinwheels of this. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like in those little garnish things.
Like if you bake this with cinnamon sugar on it, it's really good. And you make
Into a rose by any other name. But yes. This is well, it's not.
So pretty,
Well,
chef.
I don't know what you did. But usually you do this.
That's why I don't bake.
So that's getting cut from the film right there.
Leave that in.
No, it's absolutely not.
Cook. I bake when I have to. No, I think everyone should have the ability to do certain desserts. Like literally, if you have a custard, like a sponge cake, an ice cream base, and like a chocolate mousse, you can basically design any dessert menu. Just different tweaks of the same exact thing. Is really what it is what I'm trying to get at. So you should never be held hostage by a pastry chef. You should always be able to at least do the job by any employee in your kitchen. No, but my point is like, if they do a job that you can't do, you're put in a difficult position as an employer. I don't like being in a situation where I can't do the job best. Now, hopefully you hire someone who can do the job better than me. That's your job as an employer as well. You don't want to be held hostage. You want to be able to do it. Do the job. I can bake. I can do it. I just don't like doing it. I don't like following recipes. I don't like measuring things.
If you were asked to make something, what would you want to make?
Pot upside down cake. I love pot upside down cake. An upside down cake of some sort. Plum upside down cake. Any things like that. I like fruit based. I love lemon bars.
Mango
Creme brulees, I like chocolate, like lava cakes. Like are always like easy. You can always like win with it.
Have you ever used a Dutch oven to bake with them?
More not for like cobblers and stuff.
I mean, like I do upside down cakes in a Dutch oven.
Okay, I've done them in cast iron, not a Dutch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I have done, yeah.
We do it
I've
mostly
done
river rafting.
Isn't that more like a
camping.
tarte tatin?
What's that?
Isn't that more like a tarte tatin?
It's an inverted cake, so but like a tarte tatin usually is just puff pastry, whereas you use like a sponge or a genoise for basically a upside down cake. And so you put your pineapple and brown sugar mixture or apples and brown sugar mixture, well, one will get puff pastry and have much larger apples, and one will be like a glaze on top of it.
Pears.
Or pears, absolutely, for sure. I mean, or onions, for like, I mean, savory, absolutely.
Onion upside down cake. That
That
sounds like something I'm gonna make and make you eat. Onion upside down cake.
Well, it's considered, like, the French make a tart, pâte brisée, and onions. It's really, really famous. Either bacon or anchovies sometimes added into it. And it's just literally just sweet onions that have been cooked down in butter. And they cook down, with a good brisée on it. Then they make like it's called like a royale, an egg and cream mixture, and you pour it into it almost like a quiche. And then you bake it with all the onions in it, and Parmesan on top of it. It's a cheese and onion tart. I mean, it's actually really, really delicious. It's like a staple of like lunch and different things like that. But yeah, savory tarts for sure. Okay, knife work. Okay, we're getting to the point where I'm going to start like testing you on knife work. You can't do perfect. It's a round thing, and it's applesauce. Half of them are going to break down. Try and cut them uniform. And I don't care if there's 5 people cutting at the table. You should still be cutting them uniform. Okay, it's not like, well, he did that, chef. Right? Like, it doesn't matter. If I give you 5 cases of tomatoes to cut, and then I go away and I do something else, and I come back and they're all different. You understand? It doesn't matter whose fault it is really at that point. Now we gotta fix it. So I'm just chapped because the tomatoes aren't right. I gotta turn them all into a sauce instead of rubber shell. Alright. You get the idea. Because the chefs in the restaurant, when you generally work on, just come and throw your product away. That's like the favorite technique for communication. If it's not right. In the bin. But we're getting much better at positive reinforcement.
Gordon Ramsay pioneered that.
No, Gordon Ramsay came up. I mean, it was when I started cooking. Literally, they signed a law. Like England had to put a law in order for the chefs to stop striking the commies and the cooks. Like it was like they had to actually put a law into the book saying you can't hit cooks. Like, so they're still hitting people in the 90s, like late 80s, 90s. They're still like a slap was okay in the kitchen. Like that's just not okay. Like obviously, like that doesn't work. So we've come a long way, but we'll see. We'll see if we're bouncing to the wrong direction. Is all I'm gonna say.
Participation awards.
I feel like if it's not appropriate in another workplace, then why should it be appropriate in the kitchen?
Just because of the high heat and stress, it's not appropriate. I'm not saying anything's appropriate, but I think that things happen in kitchens. There's a lot more variables in kitchens, and so I think that sometimes people express themselves differently. All depends on the hand. No one sounds right. I'm a pretty chill guy, but some people, some people get pretty, uptight in kitchens, and I've seen it, and I've actually learned a lot from those people as well. So it's I don't know, a little bit of both is what I'm trying to get at. It's a total. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with it now. I'm so confused by it. Is a hug better or a stern word? Like what gets it across better? You're gonna all find out yourself, hopefully. Because I want all of you to imagine kitchens and table. Like what works better? Like it's a conversation. It's not I'm right, you're right. Like I'm not that much of a dinosaur. It's like I'm not. So I'm bridging the gap between the two deals, like the millennial concept, which is, to be perfectly honest, what can you do for me, not what I can do for you. That is the concept. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong or different, but it's what it is. So that's great when you're the millennial. It's not as great when you're higher. So it's just sort it all out. You listen to this every week. You have to listen to it every week. So I'm teaching the supervision class this semester, and I haven't taught it before. And it's a trip. I'm learning stuff every week as I prepare my little lesson plans. I'm learning a bit every week. It's good. They should have all of us dinosaurs take one. Good luck on that. What do you think would be the most important class you could take in a cooking school? You design a class.
What?
If you design a class to add to a culinary program, what would you add? It's pretty funny that you say that because mine is communication of sorts. Okay. What else? Anybody else?
Is nutrition already a class?
Nutrition's already a class.
Damn.
I want to do a bilingual cooking class.
Oh yeah.
I think
That would be that's
I want to cook a whole class in Spanish.
yeah.
Okay. That's what I want to do. That's it. Both sides.
We can play
I want
some.
to teach Spanish speakers to speak English better in the kitchen. I want to speak English speakers to speak Spanish in the kitchen better.
You gonna play Mexican music the whole time too?
What's that?
Play Mexican music the whole time too?
I'm all for it.
Alright, I'm down then.
I like in kitchens that everyone play their own music for a while. Like everyone gets like an hour. Like everyone plays their music for a while. I say you listen to everything. You listen from Bon Jovi to Banda. I'll let you figure it out. Like, you listen to it.
What's your favorite music to listen to in the kitchen?
Oh, that totally depends. I have a very, very eclectic music taste.
Alright, I say like you're cutting these apples. What you going for?
If I do an early prep in the morning and stuff was going on, generally Rage Against the Machine or Pantera. It's like my directional school. That's me. Then, as I go more into chill right before service, I usually listen to reggae or like trip hop type.
Nice.
And then clean up. I don't know. You just yeah. Someone else does it now.
somebody else does.
I don't think so.
I'm doing paperwork.
Can we listen to music today? I asked you every day.
Today's a holiday.
Yeah, today's Halloween.
Yeah, Monster Mash.
Monster Mash.
Over again. Just 25
Just
times.
Monster Mash.
Yeah, just Monster Mash. Okay, 25 times.
10-hour loop.
Ooh, that'd be tough. Okay, a little star anise, a little bit of cinnamon stick. Okay, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of cider vinegar. I'm using a stainless pan because I'm gonna use the cider vinegar and acid reacts with the food products, right? Acid reacts. Someone grab me the things that look like white carrots inside when you walk in. You know, like white carrots. It's called a parsnip. It's like white carrots. What's that? Not in this. But you could. Apples and
like
parsnips
these
actually
small.
go incredibly well together. No, that wasn't my plan. Okay, so what I'm looking to do right now is make what's considered a coulis. I want this to be a sauce that's tightened by its own solids. So we're going to cook it for long enough that the apples start to fall apart. Then we can actually use a fork and we can just mash them. We're going to keep basically 2/3 of them with consistency, and we're going to have like 1/3 of them pureed and rolling between it and tightening the sauce and giving it the body we want. To do that, I want the apples to cook in a liquid. I want to put enough liquid into them just so they swim and that's it. I'm trying to make it thick. Okay, so I don't want to have a ton of liquid that I'm dealing with at this point. Okay, so I'm going to put that in and cook it for about 45 minutes until we have it where we want it to be. About a 1/4 cup of it, and then balance that out with sugar. So about a 1/4 cup of vinegar should take at least 2 tablespoons of sugar. At least 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going 3.
3 even.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just looking at the amount of sugar. I'm an eyeball guy. That was just the spoon that was there. I wasn't trying to measure it. I'm just, not that much sugar. And more importantly, after it cooks for a little while, I'm going to taste it. If it needs more brightness, I'm going to add vinegar. If it needs more sweetness, I'm going to add sugar. It's that simple. Right? We're not, not doing the rocket chicken. We're going to balance out that flavor profile with basically those flavors. Last thing I want you to do after you get your apples up is peel some parsnips and try and keep them uniform. So I have large tops and I have skinnier bottoms. I want to leave these as big as I can in the cooking process and maintain uniformity during the cooking process. bunch of peeling today, isn't it? Okay, and the knife's moving this time more than the parsnip. When I do fine little work like that. Okay, so that one I'm just gonna half, these two I quarter, trying to keep them the same size. And again, just looking for uniformity in cooking. Okay, we need a parsnip per student. I'd like you to top them off with half milk, half water, a little bit of salt in it, bring them to a simmer. Half milk, half water, bring them to a simmer. Okay?